Skanda 2, chapter 8. In this, Parikshit now questions. Previously, we told about the conversations between Brahma and Narada. That is what Shuka is narrating. So now, Parikshit comes back and asks similar questions to Shuka. Shuka is the guru of Parikshit. Parikshit ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದ್ದಂಗೆ, he has come to the last stage of his life and he knows that there are only 7 days. He wants to make his life very meaningful and therefore he starts doing tapas on the bank of Ganga, and at that time Shuka, so many rishis come there, including, am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah. So many rishis come there, so many rishis, and best of all, the greatest rishi is Shuka Muni, who is supposed to be the most knowledgeable person of that era, and also for the yugas to come. Even today we consider him as a great acharya. So Shuka is teaching, is conveying Bhagavad Purana to Parikshit. So Parikshit asks now so many questions. So whenever Bhagavad has been told, the similar questions are asked. So now in this chapter, they are describing to us what were the questions asked by Parikshit to Shuka. So now, so far, what we are learning is the recent thing where Suta Puranika was telling Shaunaka Rishi in Naimisharanya. In that conversation comes this conversation between Shuka and Parikshit, what actually happened. So in continuation, they say, Parikshit asks Shuka, to whom did Narada impart knowledge? So far you have told discussion between Brahma and Narada. Brahma conveyed Bhagavata to Narada. Now, whom did Narada tell? Then what he will keep on asking. They say 20 questions. Actually, when I went through the shlokas, it's more than 20. So I have summarized them. So to whom did Narada impart the knowledge? To whom did Narada tell this Bhagavad Purana to? Second question, he says, explain to us what are the doings of Hari. What are his sport? In Mardavano, Vishnu, in so many incarnations. We have discussed. But again, Parikshit wants to know from Shuka, so that I can concentrate on those, I can concentrate only on Hari and detach myself. Andre, mind cannot always keep meditating throughout the day. So probably Parikshit wants to know about the glories, so that one after one, mind also wants varieties of Hari itself. If we can get, then it would be more interesting. Like how Indira always says, we want stories. So stories are always making the sessions interesting, because otherwise it would be monotonous. So similarly, yes. Then he says, you say Atman, we know Atman is a spirit, non-material. It is not a material, it's not Prakriti. Then how does it come to have a body? ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ನಾವು ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ. We all know about it, isn't it? We all know that there is Atman in our body. What is so far what we have learned? In that, what do you think? Atman is a spirit which is non-material, matter alla though, it is something different. But how can Atman have a body? What do you think? What is your answer? Any answers from your side? ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ higher level ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. Atman is a spirit. Then how does this Atman have a body? Our body has an Atman, no? So how does this body, from where does this body come from? In other words, any idea? What is this body made of? Is the body made of Atman? Anybody? Indira?
Sthula Sharira. Body is made up of Sthula Sharira.
Body is a Sthula Sharira. Body is called Sthula Sharira. What is it composed of? Anything? So far what we have learnt is, this body has 2 aspects, 2 layers. ಒಳಗ ಈಗ ಭತ್ತ ಇರ್ತದಲ್ಲ, ಭತ್ತ, paddy has a covering, and inside there is rice, no? Like that, this body has a covering of Prakriti. This Sthula Sharira is composed of Prakriti, nature. Okay? ನೇಚರ್ ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್. ಸ್ಥೂಲ ಶರೀರದಲ್ಲಿ ಇರೋದೇನು ಪಂಚಮಹಾಭೂತಗಳು, ಅದರಿಂದ ಶುರು ಆಗಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸೆನ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ಗನ್ಸ್, ಬಾಡಿ, blood vessels, everything is made up of that matter, isn't it? If you think of chemistry also, it's made up of matter. So far we know that actually. That's what he's asking. See, though we have discussed, it's not easy to retain it. Yakandre idu bahala, it's a very deep subject. So he's asking if Atman is a spirit. So sthula sharira, Indira heldani sthula sharira, sukshma sharira, and then we have Atman, Jivatman. Jivatman is inside. So that's what he is asking. How does Atman come to have a body then? There is an Atma. On that, there is that skin. How did that skin come? It comes from the Prakriti. That is how the God has created. Then man has limbs and organs. God also has. Iವರು ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆಗಳು ನೋಡ್ರಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಇದೆ. ನಮಗೂ 2 ಕೈ 2 ಕಾಲಿದೆ. ಭಗವಂತನಿಗೂ we describe him to have 4 hands and 2 limbs. Then what is the difference between God and man? What is the difference between God and man? So God, so far what we know is, the Bhagavad will teach us, but God is a creator, and he is described like that for us to understand. That's called Sakara Rupa, Sakara Brahma. Brahma ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಪರಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು, ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ವಿಷ್ಣು ಮಹೇಶ್ವರ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಸಾಕಾರ ರೂಪ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ, 2 ಕೈ 2 ಕಾಲು ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಮನುಷ್ಯನ್ ಮನಸ್ಸಿಗೆ ಹೌದಪ್ಪ ದೊಡ್ಡ ನಮ್ಮಂತವನೇ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಒಂದು ವಿರಾಟ್ ರೂಪ ಇತ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಮಗ್ we can connect with God. So we know God has 2 limbs, 4 limbs, ಶಂಖ ಚಕ್ರ ಗದ ಪದ್ಮ ಹಿಡ್ಕೊಂಡವನು 2 ಕಾಲ್ ಮೇಲೆ, ಬಟ್ ದೊಡ್ಡ ವಿರಾಟ್ ರೂಪ ಒಂದು. ಹ್ಯೂಮನಿಗೂ ಅವನಿಗೂ ಕಂಪ್ಯಾರಿಸನ್ ಇಲ್ಲ. Then what is the difference between the two? Apart from the size, what is the difference he is asking? What is the difference between God and a human being? Can we enumerate 1 or 2? How do we differentiate God and man? Simple question. Kavita, what do you feel? What is the difference between basic? Let us see whether we can see what is the difference between me, you, you, and all of us, and Krishna. Let's say,
Ma'am, God is like one super soul, eternal.
super, correct.
And coming to very basic thing, God is the giver, and we humans are askers.
We are his.
No, ma'am, he is the giver.
You are correct.
We are askers.
Askers, correct. Very correct. He can give because he only can give.
He's eternal, so he can only give.
Correct. Perfect. Any other answers? Anybody can define God? What is your perception of God in so far? ಇಷ್ಟು ವರ್ಷದ ಮೇಲೆ, ಇಷ್ಟು ಓದಿದ್ಮೇಲೆ, ಕೇಳಿದ್ಮೇಲೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೇನ್ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ? What is your perception of God?
Ma'am, he sees everyone as similar.
Everyone as a?
Similar.
He sees everyone. Come on video also, Varshila. Today compulsory. No. Okay, so he sees everybody as on the same platform. We don't see it. We don't see as humans.
Mostly we don't see. We want to see, but with the knowledge and with awareness of Gita, then everything, in all situations, I think
possible. Yes.
but not, we may not.
Not always. Yeah. Indira, nimge henge anistade concept of God? What is your perception, difference between man and God?
We see that aura when we see the God.
Okay.
The aura,
which is not there in human. Yes, correct.
Yeah,
why do we see that? Yeah, correct, you are right. We see that aura because of his great mahatatvala, supreme being. Therefore you see that aura, correct, which we cannot see in human beings. That's correct. Kanta, nimge en anstade? What do you feel? What do you feel about God?
ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಭಗವಂತನ ಪ್ರೆಸೆನ್ಸ್ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಫೀಲ್, ಬಟ್ ವಿ ಕೆನಾಟ್ ಸಿ ಹಿಮ್. ಓನ್ಲಿ ಮೂರ್ತಿ ರೂಪದಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡ್ತೀವಿ ಭಗವಂತನ.
ಮೂರ್ತಿ ರೂಪದಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡ್ತೀವಿ. We cannot see him. Correct. We cannot see him. But what differentiates him from the human being is human is a fraction of God. God is the main creator. We are but small fraction as Jivatman. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅವನ ಅಂಶವೇ ನಮ್ಮೊಳಗೆ ಇರ್ತದೆ. But we are having that Prakriti around us. We are having that God per se is totally, as she said, eternal, unchangeable, imperishable, ಆಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್, ಅವನು ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗೋದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಬಟ್ ಮನುಷ್ಯ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗ್ತಾನೆ ಇರ್ತಾನೆ. ಮನುಷ್ಯನೊಳಗೂ ಏನ್ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಅವನ ಪ್ರಕೃತಿ ಸ್ವಭಾವ ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗ್ತವೆ. ಒಳಗಿದ್ದಂತಹ ಜೀವಾತ್ಮನ್ ವಿಲ್ ನೆವರ್ ಚೇಂಜ್. ಹಿ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್, ಹ್ಯೂಮನ್ ಬೀಯಿಂಗ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಅ ಜೀವಾತ್ಮನ್, ಬಟ್ ಹ್ಯೂಮನ್ ಬೀಯಿಂಗ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಲಿಮಿಟೆಡ್. ಗಾಡ್ ಈಸ್ ಇನ್ಫೈನೈಟ್. ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಟರ್ಮ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಗಾಡ್ ಈಸ್ ಇನ್ಫೈನೈಟ್. ಸೊ this is what we have learned now. Then he says Brahma comes out of navel of supreme being, and then he creates a jiva. Brahma, he comes out of Vishnu's navel as a small stalk on which there is a lotus, and then we have seen that today also it's described. And then Brahma creates us. We are all called jivas. Then is there any, again he asks, is there any difference between supreme being and the jiva? And in what form does Lord remain when he dissociates from the Atma? Is ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ deep ಆಗಿದೆ. There is Atma. I will keep repeating because ಇನ್ನೂ ನಮಗದು ಸಿಕ್ಕಿಲ್ಲ ಗ್ರಿಪ್ ಅದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ. God he is the creator. Now we are in the creation, process of creation. ಈ ಕಲಿಯುಗದೊಳಗೆ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಇದ್ರ ಹಿಂದೆ ಯುಗಗಳಾಗಿದೆ, ದ್ವಾಪರ ಯುಗ, ಸತಯುಗ, ತ್ರೇತಾಯುಗ ಅವೆಲ್ಲ. So when God creates, no, initially he will be just, he will not be doing anything. Everything will be still. ಆಮೇಲೆ he gets that will ante sport in every kalpa. It's called one kalpa. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಅವನಿಗೆ ಏನೋ ಒಂದು ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು the minute he thinks he should do ಅಂದಾಗ he will create ಮಹತ್ತತ್ವ. ಮಹತ್ತತ್ವ is a potential and it is a source of the creation. ಆ ತರ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನಂದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಮಾಯಾ ಅಂತೂ ಅಂತಾರೆ. ಯೋಗ ಮಾಯಾ ಇಂದ ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರಕೃತಿ ಪಂಚಮಹಾಭೂತ ಅವೆಲ್ಲ they will start deriving out of that. Initially nothing is there, absolutely nothing, just still, infinity still, nothing is there. Then something shakes. ಅವಾಗ ಸತ್ವ ರಜಸ್ ತಮಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಒಂಚೂರು ಶೇಕ್ ಆಗಿ ಪ್ರಪೋರ್ಷನ್ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗಿ then they start evolving. So ಇದು ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಆಗ್ತದೆ? How does the Lord remain when he dissociates from the Maya? ಇದಾದ ಮೇಲೆ ಪ್ರಳಯ ಕಾಲ ಬಂದಾಗ, so he shines through. Please understand, concentrate. There is Atman and there is Yoga Maya. Through that Yoga Maya he creates everything, and we have discussed also, and again there is a lot of repetition in when he describes the creation. We are going too much into the basics, but we must understand this. So when he creates that, everything happens. ಮತ್ತೆ ಕರ್ಮ ಫಲ, ಮನುಷ್ಯರು ಹುಟ್ಟೋದು, ಇಳಿಯೋದು, ಸಾವು, ದೇವತೆಗಳು, ಋಷಿಗಳು ಎಲ್ಲ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ. Then at one point of time there comes dissolution, pralaya. Matte he dissociate. In all this is there. He is there in us as Jivatman. In Maya he reflects. Everywhere he is there. But suddenly as the dissolution comes, everything gets dissolved, and the Jivatmans, everything with their karma, everything, they go back into that space, into the Mahatattva again, and back to him. And that time he dissociates from Maya, it seems. Though that Mahatattva remains. We will learn more later. So what I'm trying to say is he wants to ask, Yaru Parikshit wants to know, how does all this happen? So he keeps on asking question. What is the length of time in Kalpa? What is the lifespan of human beings? What is the lifespan of Devatas? Are you aware that these Devatas have got different duration of, they also died actually, but we don't know. So like that, he keeps on asking several questions. What is the origin of Prithvi? What is the origin of Patala? What is the origin of so many things, universes? What are the internal dimensions of Brahma? Ingin questions. Then he asks, ella questions, whatever we want to know. Then he asks, Varnashrama andre enu? Actually, what is Varnashrama? We all have heard about this, no? Varna system. Do you all remember Varna? We have no Brahmana, Kshatriya, based on the professions. Again, I'm saying. So that he asks, what are the duties? Ee tara kelta hogtane. Then what is how to practice yoga? How to practice spirituality? I'm enumerating all the questions because answers are as per Bhagavad. Okay? Then like that he keeps asking, and then idella kelidmale, like that it goes on. I have described about 14-15 rituals andrenu, creation andrenu, how does Bhagavan manifest himself, what is Yoga Maya, all that he keeps asking. And then he says, Shuka idan kelbittu, it becomes very, very pleased. And then he gives 2 or 3 in today's session, 2 or 3 answers, and then we will see the connection between Brahma and Vishnu, the origin actually, how beautifully and how emotional it is actually. So Shuka ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ, connection between Atman and the Jiva. Please understand, because we will repeat and we should know this as spiritual seekers. Connection between Atman and Jiva is that of a dream body with the self ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ. ಇದರ ಮೀನಿಂಗ್ ಏನು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, we must understand, as I told, again I will emphasize, our body has got the covering, just like the paddy husk. Husk is the body and actual rice is the Atman. Are we clear? Actual rice is the Atman. Idra ನಾವು ಅದು example ಕೊಡ್ತಿದ್ವಿ ನೆನಪಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ, with the clay of containing the pot containing water, and that pot is in the lake or in another water body, let's say lake. So adರಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಟಾಗ the water inside and water outside are same. Do you all recollect this example? There is water in the pot, there is water outside the pot, but what differentiates the water inside and the water outside? So I think this example is very clearly stated in Swami Sarva Priyananda's lectures. So what differentiates is our body, mind, body, chitta, hankara. All these will separate that Jivatman from the Atma. So that exactly like that Shuka says, this is how the Atman is connected to Jiva, how Atman is present, Atman is Parabrahma. He occupies as a small fraction in the human body as Jivatman. As long as it is trapped in our ego, our subconscious activity, our karma, we fail to get the realization, we fail to reach that divinity. More and more we purify ourselves, more and more it starts shining. It is there within. First we must believe that it is that Parabrahman who is there within our body. So idin now explain ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ. And then iga, for example, when I am sleeping, I dream. What do I dream? My body has, I have gone to Calcutta, I have gone to the United States. So like that, though my body is here, I feel that another body has gone. So this, then okay, that was only a dream. But then how did I visualize that my body was there? So Ade Riti, that is a relationship between the Atman and the body. Andre, this whole thing, Prakriti, is like one illusion. It is like a dream only. We are assuming that it is real, but it is there. It's also there. So now adana yav riti artha madkobeku antandre, it is there, but it is there only to make us realize that there is Jiva. Adana utilize madkondo ade prakritiyalli, ade mayalli ನಾವು we should keep doing our sadhana so that we reach the Jivatman. So ee riti explain ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ. Then he says, when this Jiva, then how do we realize that? Clearly he says, when you give up attachment to the body by devotion, ಪೂರ್ತಿ ಭಕ್ತಿಯಿಂದ, ಭಾಗವತ್ is full of ಭಕ್ತಿ, ಪೂರ್ತಿ ನಿರಂತರವಾದ ಭಕ್ತಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ 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 ಹೋದಂಗೆ, then what happens? Then we feel we are not this body, we are one with the God. That is the ultimate state when the Jivatman, I'm not saying Jiva means this living body, human being, he becomes one with Paramatman. He realizes that it was there within and he and God were the same. So that comes when we give up the sense of this mind, body, everything. That comes when we give up the attachment to the body or attraction to the body. And that time we transcend this Maya and become one. That is through devotion, proper devotion. So now I will request Indira to sing one song that will take us to devotion, which will get us bhakti. Indira will sing, because now Bhagavata ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಹಾಡು ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಂಡು ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು. So am I clear so far? Are we clear that we have the Jivatman? It is covered by this Sthula Sharira. In between there is also Sukshma Sharira. There are actually 5 sheets. I will discuss again. Sukshma Sharira is you can say grossly subconscious mind. ನಾವು ಏನೇನ್ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಏನೇನು ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಸ್ ತಗೊಳ್ತೀವಿ, ಏನೇನು we keep on conditioning, you can say, that keeps accumulating in that Sukshma Sharira. It has to be only conceptualized. We cannot anatomically define. We cannot define where is Sukshma. Sthula Sharira, anatomical, hand, soul, leg, cell. Sukshma Sharira, we have to we have to imagine, but it is a reality. And that is the one which carries the baggage with the Jivatman from this life to next life. So now ಏನೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಲ್ಲ ಅವೆಲ್ಲ ಪರ್ಮನೆಂಟ್. ಈ ಕೈ exercise and all will not stay. But whatever mentally we have done, that goes documented. that is totally imprinted. So that is called Sukshma Sharira. That is subtle body. Subtle body with the Jivatman will go from one body to the other. Are we clear? Are we clear? So the whole effort what we are doing is to purify that subtle body. We have to make it thinner and thinner. That means cleanse of all those accumulated tendencies, samskar we are called. Accumulated ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಜನ್ಮ ಜನ್ಮಾಂತರದಿಂದ ನಮ್ಮ ಸ್ವಭಾವ ಏನಾಗಿರ್ತದಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರಕೃತಿ ಅದು how I react to a situation will be different from each of us. But there is something which God says this is ideal way of reaction. What is the ideal way of reaction? Do not be overexcited, do not be too depressed, do not get angry, do not be greedy. Ivella standards. They are standards. That's what we are supposed to do. ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಮಾಡಿ 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 ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ that ಸೂಕ್ಷ್ಮ ಶರೀರ ಬ್ಯಾಗೇಜ್ ಇರ್ತದಲ್ಲ ಅದು ಖಾಲಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತದೆ. When that becomes khali, no, we reach God. In other words, the covering of that pot, the clay, what we say, that becomes thinner. So we are reaching the divinity, the Jivatman, Paramatman become one. So that comes when we chant, when we sing, when we read Gita, when we are in that mode. So these are all the aids to reach that state. Indira, can we hear the song from you? Bhajan.
Bhajan.
Yeah, Bhajan.
Gopala Radha Lola, Gopala Radha Lola, Murali Lola Nand Lala, Jai Murali Lola Nand Lala, Keshav Madhav Janardhana, केशव माधव जनार्दना, वनमाला वृंदावन बाला, वनमाला वन बाला, मुरली लोला नंद लाला, जय मुरली लोला नंद लाला, गोपाला राधा लोला, मुरली लोला नंद लाला, जय मुरली लोला नंद लाला, आनंद मोहन निरंजना, आनंद मोहन निरंजना, वनमाला वन बाला, वनमाला वृंदावन बाला, मुरली लोला नंद लाला, जय मुरली लोला नंद लाला, गोपाला राधा लोला, मुरली लोला नंद लाला, जय मुरली लोला नंद लाला, जय मुरली लोला नंद लाला.
Very nice, Indira. Actually, if we were offline, we all could have sung. So
Yes, yes.
yeah, we all could have sung. It's a very nice bhajan, actually, very nice. So this is how we should keep singing. Bhagavad is, as I said, full of bhakti. So as we keep singing and chanting or doing good things, serving people, ivella namanna, our ego gets reduced, and therefore that divinity starts shining. Andre, we are more nearer and nearer to Paramatma or Jivatman, which is within us. So ee riti idaagtade. Now Shuka continues. What does he say? How did repetitions agatte, but it's okay, I think so. We have told how Brahma was created from Lord Vishnu. So Lord Vishnu was resting in cosmic waters, Kshira Sagara alli he was resting, and from his navel came a stalk of lotus, and in that lotus Brahma is created. So Brahma is created, and when he is created in full form, he is not aware from where he has come. So ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗದೆ ಆ ಕಡೆ ಈ ಕಡೆ ನೋಡ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ he will start am I audible? Visible? Am I audible? Yeah. So he will start listening.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Just imagine you are on a lotus, just like Brahma, sitting on that and full of water, and you start getting the cosmic vibes. Cosmic waters are there around. There is a lotus, and we can't see anything, nobody around. ಅವಾಗ ಸುತ್ತಲಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಶಬ್ದ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತದೆ. ಏನಂತಂದ್ರೆ ತಪಸ್ 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 ಅಂತ. Brahma already had that Vishnu's creative energy within him, so he could sense. And then he thought, maybe I should do tapas. Some unknown form is there, which is very blissful. And maybe I should just close my eyes and start contemplating on that divinity. And bitter, he starts doing tapas. ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ ಎಷ್ಟೋ ವರ್ಷಗಳ ಗಟ್ಟಲೆ ಮಾಡಿ, then he controls all his prana, controlling. When we do tapas, how to control that, there is a technique actually. Pranayama is one of the technique. When we do pranayama, no, actually it's not only the breath. Properly done pranayama controls all the vital energies. Vital energy andre prana, apana, udana, vyana, samana. 5 ಹನುಮಂತನ ಹಾಡು ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಪವಮಾನ ಹಾಡ್ತೀವಲ್ಲ, ಪ್ರಾಣ, ಅಪಾನ, ಉದಾನ, ವ್ಯಾನ, ಸಮಾನ. So these are all vital energies. Andre, I repeat this again, we do not describe them in our physiology. Our modern physiology doesn't have any such descriptions, but our age-old traditional Ayurveda describes the control of our own health when we master the control of these energies through prana. So Brahma, he had all that potential within him. He was guided, as it were, by the divine thing which was behind him. Vishnu obviously had the intention of bringing the entire creation through Brahma. So Brahma did tapas, and he developed that controlling the vital energies, practiced the concentration on that some divine idu. ಮಾಡಿ tapas ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ, then one day Vishnu appears before him. Vishnu antiro Parabrahma antiro. So this person, no, he had Shankha, Chakra. Bhagavad describes like this. He gives him darshan. Lord comes in front of him. How does he come? Koralal male hakkondo. Just like we describe, no, Vishnu heng describe, Narayana heng describe ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಒಂದ್ ಕೈಲಿ ಶಂಖ, ಒಂದ್ ಕೈಲಿ ಚಕ್ರ, ಒಂದ್ ಕೈಲಿ ಗದಾ, ಒಂದ್ ಕೈಲಿ ಪದ್ಮ. ಪದ್ಮ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕಮಲು. Okay, Shankha is a conch. Chakra is a chakra, discuss. Gadha is a ಏನಂತಾರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ, what is that called? Gadha.
Mace, ma'am.
Gadha ಗೊತ್ತಲ್ಲ? Mace, yeah. And then ಒಂದು ಕಮಲದ ಹೂ, ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಹಿಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಸ್ಫುರದ್ರೂಪಿಯಾಗಿ he appears very bluish. Why do we describe Krishna or gods as bluish? Is because blue signifies infinity. Blue andre sky is blue alwa. Sky we cannot hold it. Sky is blue. So therefore ella ನಾವು ಭಗವಂತನ ಅವತಾರ ಒಳಗೆಲ್ಲ blue, particularly Krishna appears blue. It's described as blue. So ಇವ್ರಿಗೆ ಹಂಗೆ ಕಾಣಿಸಿದಂತೆ ಭಾಗವತ್ ಒಳಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, because Brahma has told this to Narada, he himself. So Brahma sees him seated on a throne surrounded by, ಎಷ್ಟು ಬ್ಯೂಟಿಫುಲಿ ಇದು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, surrounded by expression of 4 plus 16, I had underlined that, 4 plus 16 plus 5 idu ante expressions ante creative power. He is surrounded, he is sitting like that, and Indra had it, there's an aura. That aura is showing totally ಎಷ್ಟು 25 expressions ante. What are those? 4 expressions. Brahma has described this to Narada. He says prakriti, purusha, ಮಹತ್ತತ್ವ, ಅಹಂಕಾರ. ಇವು ಕಂಡು ಅಂತ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮನಿಗೆ. ಅವನಿಗೆ ವಿಷ್ಣುನ್ ಸುತ್ತಲೂ ಈ ವಿರಾಟ ಪುರುಷ ಬರ್ತಾನಲ್ಲ, 2 ಕೈ, 4 ಕೈ, 2 ಕಾಲು, ಸ್ಫುರದ್ರೂಪಿಯಾಗಿ. ಬರೀ ಅದು ಶಂಖಚಕ್ರ ಗದಾಪದ್ಮ ಅಲ್ಲ. He has got 25 expressions. What are those? Prakriti will go through that later. This is 4 are some of them, you know. Prakriti, Purusha, Mahatattva, Ahankara. Concepts you can see. There are 4 concepts brilliantly. And he sees expressions and the potential. How he sees, we don't know. Only he can see, isn't it? We cannot see. He sees the expression. Okay, that means the power which is going to be manifested as Prakriti, Purusha, Mahatattva, Ahankara. And 11 Indriyas, 10 plus 1 mind. What are those 11 Indriyas? We know. 5 Karmendriya, 5 Jnanendriya. Jnanendriya andrenu kannu, kivi, nalge, then these are sense organs. Then what? Skin. Okay, skin, eyes, ears, nose, taste, and skin. Sensations, 5. ಇವು ಪಂಚೇಂದ್ರಿಯಗಳು. ಇವು ಇನ್ನು 5 ಕರ್ಮೇಂದ್ರಿಯಗಳು, ಕೈ, ಕಾಲು, ನಾಲಿಗೆ, ಮಾತಾಡೋದು, ಮೋಟಾರ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸೇ, excretion and urinary excretion, genital organs and the anus. These are actually called as a karmendriya. So and plus mind. ಇದು ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾ ಇತ್ತಂತೆ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮನಿಗೆ. ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ is a super ಜ್ಞಾನಿ, little less than Parabrahman, his own srishti, but he knows, so he can see. And he started visualizing. These are all the things, visualizing. You can see these are the powers inherent, which is coming out as an aura. I don't know how he visualized, but that is what is described. And 6 divine majesties ante. Majesties ಹೆಂಗ್ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತದೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಐಶ್ವರ್ಯ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಂತೆ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮನಿಗೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ God is, this is exactly the difference between human being and the God. See, the God or the creator is embodied, or he possesses, or he is with all these powers. So apart from the potential of Prakriti, Purusha, Mahatattva, Ahankara, which are going to play a major role in creation, then the 11 Indriyas, which are going to take shape as human being, sages, devatas and all. Then before that, 5 Pancha Mahabhutas and 5 Tanmatras. I will tell you, please understand, very interesting actually. Pancha Mahabhuta, you know, no? Elements, air, water, space, fire, wind. These are all the basic elements from which the entire world is made of. Matter is made up of all these things. In our curriculum, we never study this. We study the elements, periodic chart, nodivala, chemistry nalli. Do you remember periodic chart? So many elements, and they have added it since I don't remember how many are there now. So all that is derived from these only actually. They're all earth ninda eshton compounds bartade, and gases come from the vayu. Like that, if you see, the origin of all these elements is from Pancha Mahabhuta. Then 5 Tanmatras andre. Tanmatras are senses actually, the object of senses, sound and smell. Can you what I should say, objectify smell? Adan object anta bartada smell? Illa ala. Sound, can you objectify? Illa. Kivi anbodu, sound no. So they are called Tanmatras. Bala sukshma. Nodri, ಸೃಷ್ಟಿ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ವಿಚಾರ ಮಾಡ್ರಿ. Every day we are drinking, we are living, so many activities we do, but do we ever think of existence of such a subtle, ಇಷ್ಟು ಸೂಕ್ಷ್ಮಾತಿ ಸೂಕ್ಷ್ಮತನದಿಂದ ಇದ್ದಂಥವು, ಇದನ್ನ ಸೃಷ್ಟಿ ಹೆಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ಬೇಕು ದೇವ್ರು? So Tanmatras, he sees, Brahma sees. I can see Indriyas, potential. He cannot see them. He is going to express these Indriyas. He is going to express his Tanmatras. Andre sound, smell, and visual objects. So even all these are called Tanmatras. And then he is surrounded by divine majesties, and the wonderful majesties. They are all his powers. What are those? Aishwarya, extreme Aishwarya. Aishwarya is a lordliness. Lordliness ಅಂದ್ರೆ powerful, sampatti, prosperity, that is seen. Andre extremes, ella excellence are located on this rupa of Vishnu. Then virya, prowess. Virya is that dhairya, shairya, particularly for that manliness, you can say. This manliness is an understatement. Ashtu. Then yashas you can see. Andre he is the embodiment of fame. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಭಗವದ್ಗೀತೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ, ಯಾರಾದ್ರೂ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾರ್ಡಿನರಿ ಪರ್ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ರೆ, ಥಿಂಕ್ ದಟ್ ಐ ಆಮ್ ದೇರ್. ಸೂರ್ಯನ್ ಬೆಳಕ್ ಬರ್ತದಲ್ಲ, ಐ ಆಮ್ ದೇರ್. ಎನಿಥಿಂಗ್ ವಿಚ್ ಇಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸಲೆಂಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಹಿಸ್ ವಿಭೂತಿ ಯೋಗದೊಳಗೆ ಬರ್ತದೆ. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಎವ್ರಿಥಿಂಗ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಒರಿಜಿನ್ ಇನ್ ಹಿಮ್. ಶ್ರೀ ಅಂತೆ. ಸಿ, ಐಶ್ವರ್ಯ, ವೀರ್ಯ, ಯಶಸ್ಸು, ಶ್ರೀ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಗೊತ್ತ, ಶ್ರೀದೇವಿ ಅಂತೀವಲ್ಲ, Sri Lakshmi, Sri Devi. That Sri stands for beauty and auspiciousness. He is magnificent in all these properties. And then Jnana, he can see omniscience in him. And then Vairagya, renunciation. Ishtella idru kude, there is a renunciation. So Brahma describes the Lord and he is stunned by looking at all these. But Brahma has been bestowed by that buddhi which can understand all this. Brahma is born with that jnana which can understand all this. Because avagidu creation ಏನು ಆಗಿರಂಗಿಲ್ಲ, ಬರೀ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಮಾತ್ರ ಇರ್ತಾನೆ. So Brahma ಇದನ್ನ ನೋಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು he has done lot of tapas and he feels there is something very pleasant, very blissful, and as I told, it is something which cannot be described by the ordinary happiness that we feel in our day-to-day life. ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ನೋಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಬ್ರಹ್ಮನಿಗೆ ಸುತ್ತೆಲ್ಲ ತಂಪಿರ್ತದೋ ಏನೋ ನೀರು, ಕಾಸ್ಮಿಕ್ ವಾಟರ್ಸ್ ದೇಸೆ ಆಯ್ತಾ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಮಲದ ಹೂಳು, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎದುರುಗಡೆ ಇಂಥ ಪರಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ನೋಡಿ, ಹಿಸ್ ಬಾಡಿ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಟ್ರೆಂಬ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಇಟ್ ಸೀಮ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಟೊರೆನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಟಿಯರ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ಹಿಸ್ ಐಸ್. ಕಣ್ಣು ತುಂಬಿ ಬಂದು ಅಳ್ಳಿಕ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾನಂತ ಅವನು. ಭಗವಂತನ್ ನೋಡಿದಾಗ ಕಣ್ಣಲ್ಲಿ ನೀರ್ ಬಂದ್ರೆ ಅಥವಾ ಭಗವಂತನ್ ನೆನೆಸಿ ಕಣ್ಣಲ್ಲಿ ನೀರ್ ಬಂದ್ರೆ, ಇಟ್ ಸೀಮ್ಸ್ ರಾಮಕೃಷ್ಣ ಪರಮಹಂಸರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಇಂಡಿಕೇಶನ್ that there is a spiritual advancement. Otherwise, why will a person cry for God? Person will cry for God only when he realizes that he is very close to him. He is the closest of any of the relations that he has encountered in this life. If he finds that he is the closest relative I have seen, and I have seen him after so many years, so Brahmanige darshana aitu, ಪರಮಹಂಸರಿಗೆ ದರ್ಶನ ಆಯ್ತು, ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಜನಕ್ಕೆ ದರ್ಶನ ಆಯ್ತು. ನಿಮ್ಮಂತವ್ರಿಗೆ ದರ್ಶನ ಯಾವಾಗ ಆಗ್ತದೋ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಆಗಿರ್ಲಿಕ್ಕಿಲ್ಲ. ಬಟ್ ವಾಟ್ ಫೀಲಿಂಗ್ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಗೆಟ್ ಇಸ್ ವೆನ್ ಯು ರಿಮೆಂಬರ್ ಹಿಮ್, ವೆನ್ ದ ಥಾಟ್ಸ್ ಕಮ್, ವೆನ್ ಸಚ್ spiritual thoughts are related to God, particularly in bhakti, and you feel emotional, that means you are advancing in the spiritual path. And it is very what is the significance now he tells. So he prostrates at his feet and he starts crying. ಆ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮನ್ನೇ ನೋಡಿ, ನಾವು ಬ್ರಹ್ಮನಿಂದ ನಾವು ಹುಟ್ಟಿದವರು, ಆ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಸ್ವತಃನೇ he becomes so emotional when he sees, because he feels finally this was what I was meant for. ಆವಾಗ Lord lifts him with his hand ಅಂತೆ, and then ಅವನ ತಲೆ ಮೇಲೆ ಕೈ ಆಡಿಸ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು he just puts his hand around his head, and then he says, may good fortune come to you. Ask me whatever boon you want. And now see, the conversation goes like this. He says, you have reached this state. What state? Blissful state. Why blissful? Bhagavantan ನೋಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಕಣ್ಣಲ್ಲಿ ನೀರ್ ಬರೋದಂದ್ರೇನು, ಬಾಡಿ ಟ್ರೆಂಬ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಅಂದ್ರೇನು, ಅದು that is a form of ecstasy. You know what is ecstasy, no? Ecstasy ಉನ್ಮತ್ತವಾದಂತ ಭಾವನೆ. ಭಗವಂತನ ದರ್ಶನ ಆದವರಿಗೆ ಹಿಂಗೆ, they would have something like in ordinary terms it is like alcoholic, purti alcohol, under the influence of alcohol people feel that they are, oh yo mast, I have want to another world. Actually this is similar to that, Allah. It's a different, always it's a different world, but something like that. He becomes so matta antaralla, intoxicated. So ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಯಾಕಾಯ್ತು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, you have attained my realm because I willed it. This we must understand. ನನಗ್ ಬೇಕಿತ್ತು, ನಿನ್ನ ತಪಸ್ಸಿನಿಂದ ನೀನು ಈ ಸ್ಥಿತಿಯನ್ನ ಪಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿಲ್ಲ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ. I wanted you to experience this. It was my will that you attained this. Now let us think, Brahma did tapas, no? So why should God claim that it is his grace? So he says, I created that those vibrations of tapas. He wanted Brahma to do tapas. Adike he creates those vibrations and those the feeling, that the sound of tapas and bandadana naan create ಮಾಡಿ ನಾನೇ ನಿನಗೆ ಅದರೊಳಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಹೇಳಿ, I made you reach this realm. So ಇದ್ರೊಳಗೆ ನನಗೆ what I felt, no, when we do, all of us are coming here to attend Bhagavad or Bhagavad Gita. I feel like reading. ಇದೆಲ್ಲ, it is not, of course it's a free will. We say we have chosen it, but everybody cannot choose. unless he minds it. Are you here with me, all of you? ಭಗವಂತನ ಅವನೇನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ, ಕೃಷ್ಣ ವಿಷ್ಣು ತಾನೇ ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ, ನನ್ನ ಅನುಗ್ರಹದಿಂದ ನೀನ್ ತಪಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ದೆ, ಆ ತಪಸ್ಸಿನಿಂದ ನೀನನ್ ಪಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ನಾನೇನು ಪ್ರತ್ಯಕ್ಷ ದರ್ಶನ ಕೊಟ್ಟೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ಅವನ ಕೈಯಲ್ಲಿದೆ. ಎವ್ರಿಥಿಂಗ್ ಇಸ್ ಇನ್ ಹಿಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಸ್. ಆಫ್ ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ಅವರ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಟೆಪ್, ಅವರ್ ಫ್ರೀ ವಿಲ್, ವಿ ಚೂಸ್ ಟು ಬಿ ಡಿವೋಟೆಡ್, ವಿ ಚೂಸ್ ಟು ಚೂಸ್ ಅ ರೈಟ್ ಪಾತ್. ನಾವು ಧ್ಯಾನ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು, ಹಾಡ್ ಅನ್ಬೇಕು, ಭಾಗವತ್ ಪುರಾಣ ಕೇಳ್ಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋ ಇಚ್ಛಾ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋ ಅಷ್ಟು ನಮಗೆ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಫ್ರೀಡಮ್. ಬಟ್ he himself creates that ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ ಕೃಷ್ಣ, ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದ್ ಮೂಲಕ. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್, ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಟೆಲ್ ಯು, ಇಂದಿರಾ, if she had not asked me, we had not discussed that we should have Bhagavad Gita class, we wouldn't have started. She will say, no, because you are telling, we are listening. That's okay. How did we start? So how did she get that thought she should tell? Yellow on Bhagavantan Anugraha, it came through her. I'm not exaggerating. For this to happen, ಈಗ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮನಿಗೆ ಹೆಂಗೆ ತಪಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕೃಷ್ಣನೇ ಪರಬ್ರಹ್ಮನೇ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ, he made Brahma to do tapas. He only creates that because it is his will. So our assembling here, our reading this, how it started, everything is his will. No doubt. That means our free will also, to a great extent, it has been graced by him. Do you agree with me? ನಮಗೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಅವನ ನಿಮಗ್ ಬರ್ಬೇಕಂತ ಅನ್ಸಿದ್ದು ಅವನ ಇಚ್ಛಾ, ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ಸೇರ್ಬೇಕನ್ಸಿದ್ದು ಅವನ ಇಚ್ಛಾ, ಇದು ನಡೀತಿರೋದು ಅವನ್, ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಗೊತ್ತು, ಸೂಪರ್ಫಿಷಿಯಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಬಟ್ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ಲುಕಿಂಗ್ ಅಟ್ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಹಿಮ್ಸೆಲ್ಫ್, ಓ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮನ್ ಸೃಷ್ಟಿ, ಬ್ರಹ್ಮನೇ ಕಾರ್ಡಿ, ಗಾಡ್ ಹಿಮ್ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಇಸ್ ಟೆಲಿಂಗ್ ಆಲ್ ದಿಸ್ is because I willed it. So he created tapas, but he chose Brahma. So God has this law of karma, and somewhere we do put our foot. When we have a choice, we do make a choice, but along with that choice, there is lot of grace. He says, you put the first foot forward, but yellow one kade hakivi. Yavagin hakivala, from that time there has been enormous grace on all of us, which has led us to develop interest in listening. Interest. I'm not talking, we have not reached the stage of Brahma. We have not had darshan. But to come to this stage of where we enjoy listening is not an ordinary grace. This is my understanding. After I felt so good that when he says to do tapas, it was my will. Andaga, for us to listen, definitely it is his will. As Brahma, so are we. Brahma is his creation. We are also his creation. So when Brahma could be influenced by his will, definitely we as jivas are blessed, and anyone who listens to this YouTube channel also are blessed by his grace, and that makes this a very fascinating thing, spiritual path, because it is like, complementing each other. If ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಲ್ಲ, everything works, ಎರಡು ಕೈಯಿಂದ ಚಪ್ಪಾಳೆ ಆಗೋದು, ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಥಿಂಗ್. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಗುರು ಶಿಷ್ಯರಿಂದ ಆಗೋದು, ಡೈನಮಿಸಮ್, ಟೀಚರ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್. ಸೊ ದ ಡುವೆಲ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ನರ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ತೀವಲ್ಲ, ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ವೆರಿ ಬ್ಯೂಟಿಫುಲ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ ಇಸ್ that we as human beings, the free will or the mind is also given by him only. But if we choose, if we decide to choose it wisely, choose our plans or our time like this wisely, then the grace will automatically come. That is the most fascinating thing, and this is the highest partnership in life. Highest partnership between the human jiva and the Paramatman, or Jivatman, Jiva and Jivatman, like that you can say. That means between the lower soul and the super soul. So this partnership enidella, very, very fascinating. So similar to that, he says, then Brahma says, ಈ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮನ್ ಮಾತು ಕೇಳಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ. If now Vishnu has, Parabrahma has told him that, what does he tell? It is my grace. I decided, I willed, I chose you. Rather, I chose you. So like that, we are chosen. In other words, we are all chosen. So Brahma says, oh Lord, you have received me with so much of cordiality. ಎಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಪ್ರೀತಿಯಿಂದ ನನ್ನನ್ನು ಎತ್ತಿ ಹಿಡಿದಿ ನೀನು, ನನ್ನ ಕೈಯಿಂದ ಹಿಡಿದಿ ಆಸ್ ಅ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್. ಭಗವದ್ಗೀತಾ ಒಳಗೂ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಸುಹೃದಂ. ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ, ಸುಹೃದಂ, ಯಾರು ನನ್ನನ್ನ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ ಅಂತ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾರೋ, ಐ ಆಮ್ ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ದೇರ್. We have heard of Sudama and Krishna, isn't it? Have you heard Sudama? ಸುಧಾಮನ್ ಕೇಳಿದಿರ? ಸೊ ಸುಧಾಮ ಅವನ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಶಿಪ್ ಅನ್ನ ಎಷ್ಟು ಮಹತ್ವ ಕೊಡ್ತಾನೆ. ಓನ್ಲಿ ಟ್ರೂ ಜೆನ್ಯೂನ್ ರಿಲೇಶನ್ಶಿಪ್ ಇಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಲಾರ್ಡ್ ವಾಂಟ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ, ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಹೆಲ್ಡ್ ಮೀ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ದೇ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕ್ರೈಬ್ ವಿಷ್ಣು. ಇವನು ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ವಿಷ್ಣು ಹೋಲ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಹಿಮ್ ವಿತ್ ಒನ್ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್, ಹಿ ಲಿಫ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಹಿಮ್. ಸೊ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಹೆಲ್ಡ್ ಮೀ ಆಸ್ ಅ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ and taking my hand as a friend. You have revered me with cordially ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ, but I am after all your servant. ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಅವಾಗ್ಲೇ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಪೂರ್ತಿ ಜ್ಞಾನಿನೇ ಅವನು. ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ಇಸ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕ್ರೈಬ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಎಂಟೈರ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ ಈಸ್ ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಎಂಡೋಡ್ ವಿತ್. ಸೊ he says, I am your servant so long as, listen to these words because I have written word by word, so long as I am tirelessly discharging this duty of creation which you have given me. Brahmaniಗೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತು. Why he has created me is I have to create next. I am the messenger. I am the instrument now. Whatever he has, all these majestic ಪಂಚ ತನ್ಮಾತ್ರ ಅವು ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ಕೊಂತಲ್ಲ, ಈಗ ನನ್ನನ್ನ he is making me able to go down the line and create the entire thing. So long as I am tirelessly discharging this duty of creation of all beings, high and low, as your servant, may I not develop the pride. ಅಹಂಕಾರ ಬರೋದ್ ಬೇಡ. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಏನ್ ಆಸ್ಕ್ ಫಾರ್ ಅ ಬೂನ್ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳ್ತಾನೆ ವಿಷ್ಣು, ಮಹಾವಿಷ್ಣು. ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಆಸ್ಕಿಂಗ್? ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಇಸ್ ಟೆಲಿಂಗ್, ಲೆಟ್ ಮೀ ಡೂ ಮೈ ಡ್ಯೂಟಿ ವಿತೌಟ್ ಡೆವಲಪಿಂಗ್ ದ pride that I am Brahman and I am born as an independent being. No, I should never think like this. I am part of you. I am doing your work. Never ever I should have this kind of pride that I am the creator. ನಾನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ, ನನ್ನ ಸೃಷ್ಟಿ, ದೇವ್ರು ನನಗೆ ಇಷ್ಟೆಲ್ಲ ಕೊಟ್ಟಾನೆ, ನಾನೇ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು. I should never have that ಅಂತ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಕೇಳ್ತಾನೆ. So that is our take home message actually, that we should also pray God. So Swami Sarvapriyananda, how to pray anta ಒಂದು very beautiful one clipping is there. In that he says that only we should always pray that we should remember you always. Why we should pray like that? Because he is the doer, we are not the doer. And also because if we remember him, then he will take care of all our problems. We have discussed this. ಅವ್ರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ, ಯೋಗಕ್ಷೇಮಂ ವಹಾಮ್ಯಹಂ ಅನನ್ಯಾಶ್ಚಿಂತಯಂತೋ ಮಾಂ ಯೇ ಜನ ಪರ್ಯುಪಾಸತೆ ತೇಷಾಂ ನಿತ್ಯಾಭಿಯುಕ್ತಾನಾಂ ಯೋಗಕ್ಷೇಮಂ ವಹಾಮ್ಯಹಂ. ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಮೀನಿಂಗ್? ಅನನ್ಯಾಶ್ಚಿಂತ, ಬೇರೆ ಏನನ್ನು ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡದೆ, ಬೇರೆ ಯಾವ ಮಾರ್ಗವನ್ನು ಹಿಡಿದೆ, ಚಿಂತಯಂತೋ ಮಾಂ ಯೇ ಜನ, those who think of me in any form. It doesn't say Krishna antane irbekanta, any god, any form other than this lower self, the god. Ye jana paryupasa tesham, for them, and who are engaged consistently, nityabhiyuktana, those who are engaged in thinking about me or my kind of work, always working selflessly, yoga, I will take care of them. You need not do my work. Do my work. We should work for him, for the sake of God, because it's his creation. So let's work as God's work. If we think with that attitude, then he will take care of our problems. We need not work on those problems individually. We need not. Idu higher thinking. It doesn't mean that we should not act on our problems. We can act, we should act, but thinking that that action is also God's work. He has given us a challenge. That is his creation. We are working. And as long as you are there, why do I worry? Anta. But most of the time, if we engage ourselves rather than worrying about those problems, if we engage in either meditation, if we have time, prayers or meditation, or karma falatyaga, surrender, whatever we do, we surrender. Ee thara ನಾವು attitude itkondaga, he will take care. So that will comply to what Brahma is saying. Brahma is saying, let me not have this ahankara. I should not have the pride anta ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ. Then so again Lord says, before this creation I was there, before I brought you here I was there, now you will create, and after dissolution again I will be there. ಬ್ರಹ್ಮನಿಗೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಜ್ಞಾನ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ ವಿಷ್ಣು. I am always there, before, during, after. During the activity he is in the form of Maya. Okay, now that he comes to that point, and that with that we actually conclude today's session. So he says, when I create, what is presented on this Atman. When I enter, I am the, you saw all those elements ella agattana. So two aspects are there. In the living beings, he comes as that paddy husk anta yochane ಮಾಡಿ, as a seed, as a core, as the rice in the with the paddy husk. That paddy husk is a Maya. Maya means he creates matter, because he needs to create all the elements. No food irbeku, plants irbeku, human beings ಗೆ muscles are there. See, all the body has got muscles, nerves. It's all based on the matter. Matter means Prakriti, also means Maya. Yoga Maya, that is the energy of him. So ಅದೆಲ್ಲ create ಮಾಡ್ತಾನಂತೆ. But in that, his reflection is there. That means all those functioning is because of him. Behind all this creation, he is there, both living and non-living. But most manifest in the living. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂಥರ it is more subtle and much more on the human being, because ಅಲ್ಲಿ mind is Prakriti, and Ahankara is Prakriti, Chitta is Prakriti, free will is Prakriti, everything is Prakriti and his Atman. So he says everything gets reflected, but I am one. One example, if you remember, Mataji had given on the Surya. Imagine, sun is there, and you keep 10 pots of water. That reflection you can see in all the 10 pots, but they are different pots, isn't it? Different pots, different images, reflections you get, but object is only one. It appears multiple, correct? No? So Maya is a reflection of Atman. You should consider that sun as the Atman. So that will never change. Eternal, as she said, eternal. But these things keep changing. And the reflections keep changing. And one more point I will add here. The reflection also, the sun is the same. One pot has got clear water. One pot has got muddy water. One pot has got intermediate. Reflection also changes depending on that, yes or no? Haudalla? If there is are you all here with me? Clear water nalli, it appears very clear reflection. Muddy water alli, reflection is not clear. But the source is the same. Similarly, good and the bad characters. Obba murder ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ ಅನ್ಕೊಡ್ರಿ, ಕಳ್ಳ ಕದಿಮ. ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ನು ಸಾತ್ವಿಕ ಸಾಧು. Both have got the same divinity, same Jivatman, but they appear different. Why? Because muddy mind. Murderer mind is muddy. Even mind is Shuddha. So Shuddha Manassinalli, you reflect good characters. All divine characters are good. This is what he is explaining. So he says, is that clear, all of us? Should I repeat this? Is that clear? It goes, I couldn't help because it was a little deep. That's how it was. So this is Maya Anta. So Maya is a very, very complex subject actually. So this is how it is going to happen. Anta Vishnu tells Brahma, and it is also true that this muddy water, it need not be muddy. Muddy means doesn't mean always bad. It means also distraction. It also means that your mind gets carried away from God. That muddiness need not be very ತಾಮಸಿಕ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕೆಟ್ಟ ಮಾಡೋದು, ಕೊಲೆ ಮಾಡೋದು, corruption, dishonesty. That is one part of that muddiness. Are you here with me? Try to understand what makes the reflection clear in a clear water is because water is clear. So it's just like it's reflecting. And what is it reflecting? The divinity. So even in our body, there is Atman, and Atman means conceptualize this. And if the mind is clear, if it is pure, if it is free from jealousy, if it is free from negative thoughts, good qualities of divinity, which is within us, starts manifesting. You will become more helpful. You will become less selfish. You are more smiling. You are more forgiving. All these are characteristics of making the mind clear or winning over the lower nature. Winning over, that means you are winning over the Prakriti. You are getting your willpower you are using to become better day by day. So that way it will reflect. We are using different examples like that pot with water, or sun reflection in water, and muddy water versus clear. All these are nothing but to explain the concept of Maya. So we will start forgiving and all that. That is one. Adallade, we get carried away by Maya antandre, we assuming that this whole world itself alone is true. ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಜಗತ್ತಿದೆ, ನಾವ್ ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಕಾಯಂ ಇರೋದು ಅನ್ನೋ ignorance, that is also Maya. So next class we will tell the story of if you have heard this story of ನಾರದ, ಕೇಳಿದಿರಾ? ನಾರದ ಹೆಂಗ ಮಾಯ ಒಳಗೆ ಸಿಗಾಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾರ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಕೇಳಿರೇನ? ಒಂದ್ಸರ್ತಿ ಕೃಷ್ಣ goes, he walks with Narada. Narada asks ante, one second, am I audible?
Yes, audible.
Yeah, ಇದು ವಿಡಿಯೋ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಯಾ, ಕೃಷ್ಣ ನಾರದ ಕೂಡಿ ವಾಕಿಂಗ್ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರಂತೆ. ನಾರದ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರಂತೆ, ನಾರದ್ರಿಗೂನು ಮಾಯೆ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಇನ್ನು ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್, ಇಷ್ಟೆಲ್ಲ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರು ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಮಾಯಾ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ಹೌದಾ, ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ, ನೀನು ನನ್ ನೀರ್ ತಗೊಂಡ್ ಬಾ ನಾರದ, ನನಗೆ ಬಾಯಾರಿಕೆ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ. ಸೊ ನಾರದ ಗೋಸ್ ಟು get water. So he sees in that, near that well, there's a beautiful, Narada is a Rishi, Muni. Ella bittavaru. So he has won over everything, all distractions. He sees a beautiful lady who's who is drinking water. Yaro obru neer kodtirtare, ivಳು ಕುಡಿತಿರ್ತಾಳೆ ಅದನ್ನ. That he sees, and he falls in love with that girl. ಯಾರು ಅವಳು ನೀರ್ ಕುಡಿತಿರ್ತಾಳಲ್ಲ, a beautiful girl. Then ಅಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಅಟ್ರಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತದೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, he forgets that he is Narada. He goes and approaches the king. He says, she will be our princess, king ಅಲ್ಲ, ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಲಾರ್ಡ್. ನಿಮ್ ಮಗಳು ನಾನು ಮದ್ವೆ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀನಿ. ಇವರು ಹೆಂಗಪ್ಪ ಇದು ಋಷಿ ಈ ತರ ಇದ್ದವರು ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾರ, ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹೋದ್ರೆ ಹೆಂಗೆ? ಇಲ್ಲ, ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿಕಮ್ ಅ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ ಗೃಹಸ್ಥ ಅಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು he will change completely into a grahastha and he'll get married to her. ಖುಷಿಯಾಗಿರ್ತಾರ, ಮಕ್ಕಳಾಗ್ತಾರೆ. Then the king, he is a landlord and a king, something like that. He dies. He gets so much property. He becomes unmatta ekdam, ಹೆಂಡತಿ, ಮಕ್ಕಳು, ಮರಿ, ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟಿ, and enjoying parties and ಆ ತರ, ಅಂದ್ರೆ get togethers, ಅದು ಇದು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ he is totally engrossed in the worldly pleasures. Then what happens? Neighboring state, somebody king comes and attacks them. This person is not equipped, he doesn't have the skill to fight also. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅವನು suddenly he will start, ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು, ಏನ್ ಬಿಡ್ಬೇಕು. There are two versions of this. This is one of the version. ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಅವ್ರು ಅಟ್ಯಾಕ್ ಮಾಡೇ ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ. They take him as a hostage, whole family. ಹೆಂಗೋ ಮಾಡಿ ಎಸ್ಕೇಪ್ ಆಗ್ತಾರೆ. He, his wife and children, they lose all the property. Then there is flood coming. ಈ ಕಡೆ ಮಕ್ಳನ್ನ ಹಿಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು, ಹೆಂಡತಿನ ಹಿಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು, ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ಲಾರ್ದೆ ಒದ್ದಾಡ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ ನಾರದ್ರು. ಅಂಡ್ ದೆನ್ ಈ ಕಡೆ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಹರಿದು ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಆ ಹೆಂಡತಿನ ಎಷ್ಟು ಕಷ್ಟಪಟ್ಟು ಹಿಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕಂತ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ. ಶಿ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಗೆಟ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಫ್ಲಡ್ ಶಿ ಗೆಟ್ಸ್ ಫ್ಲೋನ್. ಕೊನೆಗೆ ಓ ಗಾಡ್ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಮೀ ಅಂತ ಜೋರ್ ಕಿರ್ಚ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತೆ. ಭಗವಂತ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು, ಎಲ್ಲಿದ್ದಾರೆ ನನ್ ಮಂದಿ ಅಂತ. ಇಮಿಡಿಯೇಟ್ಲಿ ಹಿ ಫೈಂಡ್ಸ್ ಹಿಮ್ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಟು ಕೃಷ್ಣ. ಕೃಷ್ಣ, ನೀನ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿದ್ಯಾ? ಹೌದು, ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ. ನೀರ್ ತರ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದೆಲ್ಲ, ಏನಾಯ್ತು ಅಂತ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ಸ್ ದಟ್ ಮಾಯಾ. ನಾ 1 hour ಆಯ್ತು ನಾ ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಕೂತಿದ್ದೀನಿ. 1 hour ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಆಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತಾ? ಸೊ this is how Krishna explains Maya to Narada. ಅಂದ್ರೆ one leads to other. First attraction ಏನಾಯ್ತು ಅವರಿಗೆ? he got attracted to that girl's beauty. This is Maya. That means Krishna himself, to make him understand, he makes that entangles him. He creates that artificially, that whole thing. ಅವಳ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮನ್ಸಾಯ್ತು. ಮನ್ಸಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಬಿಡ್ಬೇಕೋ ಬೇಡ, he should have controlled. ನಾನು ಮುನಿ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ, I should not, I have come to take water for Krishna. I ಮರ್ತ್ ಬಿಟ್ಟ. He forgot that he has come to take water. That was his duty. He forgot that. And then if you forget your duty, what will happen? This way you will get drawn. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು she attracted him. ಬರೀ ಅಟ್ರಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಗ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಮದುವೆ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋತೀನಿ ಅಂತ, ಮನಿ ಹಳೆ ಆಗ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತ. ಅಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಮುಗಿಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಆವಾಗೂ ಜ್ಞಾಪಕಕ್ಕೆ ಬರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಮಕ್ಕಳಾದ್ರು, ಅಲ್ಲಿಗೂ ಜ್ಞಾಪಕಕ್ಕೆ ಬರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟಿ ಬಂತು. ಈ ವೆಂಟ್ ಆನ್, ಒಂದಕ್ಕೊಂದು ಈ ಗಾಟ್ ಎಂಟ್ಯಾಂಗಲ್ಡ್. ಇದು ಇದ್ದಂಗ ಅದು ಏನು, ಬರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾಚ್ ವಿತ್ ದ ನೆಟ್, ನೋ. ಸೊ ಯು ಗೆಟ್ ಎಂಟ್ಯಾಂಗಲ್ಡ್. ಸೊ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಕಮ್ ಔಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದಟ್. ಸೊ ವೆನ್ ವಿ ಫರ್ಗೆಟ್ ವಾಟ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಮೆಂಟ್ ಫಾರ್, why have we come here? We have come here to attain actually moksha. We have come here for God realization. The purpose of human birth is to see God. At least we should see him, like how Brahma has seen. But he has created so much of Maya that we have forgotten. We come only when we get such blows, no? ಇವಾಗ ನಾರದಂಗ್ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹೋದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಅಯ್ಯೋ ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಅಂತ, ಹಂಗೆಲ್ಲೋ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಒಂದ್ ಕಡೆ ಎಲ್ಲೋ ಶುರುವಾಗಿತ್ತು ಹಿಂದಿನ ಜನ್ಮದಾಗೋ ಅದ್ರ ಹಿಂದಿನ ಜನ್ಮ, ಎಲ್ಲೋ ಕಷ್ಟಗಳು ಬಂದಾಗ ದೇವ್ರೇ ದೇವ್ರೇ ದೇವ್ರೇ, ಅವಾಗ ದೇವ್ರು ಹೇಳ್ದ ಇದು ಮಾಡು, ಭಗವದ್ಗೀತಾ ಓದು, ಸತ್ಸಂಗ ಮಾಡು, ಸಾಧುಗಳ ಜೊತೆ ಇದು ಮಾಡು, meet good people. Somewhere we started and then we continued, and now also we had forgotten. Something triggered us in our life. Do you agree with me honestly or not? We got stuck in some challenge which pushed us to this. Yes or no? ಇದು ದೇವ್ರು ನಮಗೆ ಕೊಡ್ತಾನೆ ಹಂಗೆ. He will give one blow. He will tell, no, this is how. But good part is, when people get a blow in life, they may go they may take any direction. They may go to counselors, they may take medicines, they may just keep cribbing, complaining. No, we thought, let us find a solution which is much above all the solutions to get over our challenges or problems. And when we tasted this, we felt no going back. For that, we must thank him. That is his extraordinary grace that we are able to sit here in this Kali Yuga and discuss Bhagavad Purana. We are very, very, very blessed souls, and therefore we should thank Krishna for this. And so that is about today. And one the hard healthy, then we can have one or two discussion, and then ಇದು ಈ ಹಾಡು ಪುರಂದರದಾಸರದು. ಈ ಡಿಸ್ಕ್ರಿಪ್ಷನ್ ಬಂತಲ್ಲ ಅದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಮೆಜೆಸ್ಟಿಕ್, ವಾಟ್ ಆರ್ ಆಲ್ ದೋಸ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕ್ರಿಪ್ಷನ್ಸ್ he gave ವೈರ, ಇದು ಸಿರಿ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಇದು ಏನೋ ದೊರೆಯತನ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಲಾರ್ಡ್ನೆಸ್, everything. I will just repeat what we said, because how Brahma saw him, that was a very, very wonderful Aishwarya, Virya, Yashassu, Shri, Jnana, Vairagya. Vella majestic. Purandradasa, some of them he has brought in this. He has described Krishna, in other words, Vishnu. ಈ ಪರಿಯ ಸೊಬಗಾವ ದೇವರಲಿ ನಾ ಕಾಣೆ, ಈ ಪರಿಯ ಸೊಬಗಾವ ದೇವರಲಿ ನಾ ಕಾಣೆ, ಗೋಪಿ ಜನ ಪ್ರಿಯ ಗೋಪಾಲಗಲ್ಲದೆ, ಈ ಪರಿಯ ಸೊಬಗಾವ ದೇವರಲಿ ನಾ ಕಾಣೆ, ದೊರೆಯತನದಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡೆ ಧರಣಿ ದೇವಿಗೆ ರಮಣ, ಸಿರಿಯತನದಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡೆ ಶ್ರೀಕಾಂತನು, ಹಿರಿಯತನದಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡೆ ಸರಸಿಜೋದ್ಭವನಯ್ಯ, ಗುರುತನದಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡೆ ಜಗದಾದಿ ಗುರು, ಈ ಪರಿಯ ಸೊಬಗಾವ ದೇವರಲಿ ನಾ ಕಾಣೆ, ಪಾವನತ್ವದಿ ನೋಡೆ ಅಮರ ಗಂಗಾ ಜನಕ, ದೇವತ್ವದಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡೆ ದಿವಿಜರೊಡೆಯ, ಲಾವಣ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡೆ ಲೋಕಮೋಹಕನಯ್ಯ, ಆವಧೈರ್ಯದಿ ನೋಡೆ ಅಸುರಾಂತಕನು, ಈ ಪರಿಯ ಸೊಬಗಾವ ದೇವರಲಿ ನಾ ಕಾಣೆ, ಗಗನದಲ್ಲಿ ಸಂಚರಿಪ ಗರುಡ ದೇವನೇ ತುರಗ, ಜಗತೀಧರ ಶೇಷ ಪರ್ಯಂಕ ಶಯನ, ನಿಗಮ ಗೋಚರನಂ ಪುರಂದರ ವಿಠಲಗಲ್ಲದೆ, ಮಿಗಿಲಾದ ದೈವಗಳಿಗೆ ಭಾಗ್ಯವುಂಟೆ, ಈ ಪರಿಯ ಸೊಬಗಾವ ದೇವರಲಿ ನಾ ಕಾಣೆ, ಗೋಪಿ ಜನಪ್ರಿಯ ಗೋಪಾಲಗಲ್ಲದೆ ಪ್ರಿಯ ಸೊಬಗಾವ ದೇವರಲಿ ನಾಪ. So describing Krishna,
Very beautiful.
ತುಂಬಾ
Very
ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿತ್ತು.
song.
ಬ್ಯೂಟಿಫುಲ್. ಪುರಂದರದಾಸರ ಲಿರಿಕ್ಸ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಅನುಗುಣವಾಗಿ ಅನಿಸ್ತು ನನಗ. ಅವಂದೇನು ಒಂದೊಂದು ವರ್ಣನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋದಂಗೆ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಟುಡೇಸ್ ಸೆಷನ್. ಎನಿ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ಸ್, ಎನಿ ಅಡಿಷನ್ಸ್, ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಏನ್ ಅನಿಸ್ತದ ಅದನ್ನ ಹೇಳ್ರಿ. ಎನಿ ಅಡಿಷನ್ಸ್ ಯು ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು? ಐ ಹೋಪ್ ಇಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್. ಐ ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಮೇಕ್ ಇಟ್ ಸಿಂಪ್ಲಿಫೈಡ್. ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಇದು ಮಾಯಾ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕಷ್ಟ ಅನಿಸ್ತದಲ್ಲ ಗ್ರಾಸ್ಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ.
ಅಲ್ಲ, ನಾವ್ ಹೇಳೋದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ನೀವ್ ಹೇಳೋದನ್ನ